The Force is light and full of shadows.
Before we dive in, check the link in the description if you want exclusive timelines, members-only videos you won't find on YouTube, all on our Patreon. Jedi Council Chamber, the Circular Room, 12 seats, Masters watching, Mace Windu, Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ajin Kolar, Saci Tien, Kit Fisto, Coleman K.A. Cage, Shock T. 2 hologram projections shimmer in their designated seats. Ki-Adi-Mundi from Megiddo, Plo Koon from Cato Nemoidia. In the center of the chamber, Anakin Skywalker, 22 years old, Jedi robes, mechanical right hand hidden in his sleeve, standing at attention. He's been summoned, told to wait outside while the council deliberated, now recalled. The air tastes like vindication. Chancellor Palpatine requested his appointment to the council. Directly. Unprecedented political pressure. The council couldn't refuse without constitutional crisis, so they're admitting him. After years of being told to wait, to be patient, to trust the process, the door is finally opening. Mace Windu speaks. The council has granted the Chancellor's request. You are appointed to this council. Anakin's heart surges. Finally, recognition, validation, everything he's... Take a seat, young Skywalker. The words land like a physical blow. Not, Master Skywalker. Not, congratulations, Anakin. Just, take a seat. The small seat. The one reserved for observers. For representatives without rank. You are permitted in the room, but you are not one of us. Anakin stands perfectly still. Every eye on him. The silence absolute. The gap between what he expected and what he received is a chasm. In the original timeline, that chasm fills instantly with anger, humiliation, resentment that Palpatine will mine for weeks. In this timeline, something breaks, not his composure, something deeper, a seam in reality. The memories don't arrive gently, don't unfold in sequence. They detonate. The smell hits first. Volcanic ash, chemical burn of cauterized flesh. The specific stench of a body being kept alive through machinery. Then sound. That sound. The respirator. Mechanical inhale. Mechanical exhale. The rhythm that never stops. The breathing that isn't breathing. The machine keeping a half-man alive in a black tomb. H-H-H-A-Coup. H-H-H-A-Coup. The weight comes next. Black armor encasing every centimeter of skin. Servos in every joint. The helmet that never comes off, the pain constant beneath everything. Standing in the Emperor's throne room, red guards motionless. Palpatine's voice from the throne. What is thy bidding, my master? Wrong. That's wrong. He's saying it, he's the one kneeling. The bridge of the Devastator. Admiral Ozzel choking, dying. The satisfaction of watching him fall. The cold reptilian pleasure of power without restraint. Padmé's face, her eyes. Wide, not frightened of the galaxy, frightened of him. Her hands reaching out, trying to understand. Her voice breaking. Anakin, you're breaking my heart. His hands, armored hands, mechanical fingers, rising, the force closing around her throat, squeezing. She's choking. He's doing it. He can't stop, won't stop. She betrayed him, brought Obi-Wan to kill him. No, she didn't. She never did. He killed her. He did this. Mustafar. Lava below. Obi-Wan above. The high ground, the jump. The mistake. The saber strike. Both legs gone. Left arm gone. The heat. The burning. The screaming that goes on forever. The operating table. Droids working. Palpatine's voice. Lord Vader. Can you hear me? The mask sealing. The armor locking. The first mechanical breath. HHO coup, 23 years in that suit, 23 years of darkness, hunting Jedi, burning worlds, killing children, becoming the thing he swore to destroy. Luke, his son, the throne room, green lightsaber. I am a Jedi like my father before me. The Emperor's lightning, Luke screaming. The choice, the final choice, lifting Palpatine, the lightning turning. The fall, the mask coming off. Luke's face, young, hopeful. Father, please. Dying. Finally dying. Free. All of it. 45 years of existence. Compressed into less than 1 second. The Force doesn't care about the size of the container. Anakin Skywalker does not fall. Does not rage. He stands perfectly, terribly still. Is breathing. Is real breathing. Lungs that work. Air that comes freely. Slows. Deepens. Becomes deliberate. The Council waits. They expect the explosion. They've learned to expect it from Anakin Skywalker. The flash of anger. The barely controlled resentment. The pride wounded and showing. Instead, Anakin takes one slow breath. Steps to the seat. The small, insulting seat. Sits. Meets Mace Windu's eyes without aggression. Without submission. With something the Master of the Order hasn't seen in Anakin in years. Clarity. Anakin inclines his head. Minimal bow. But real. Thank you, Masters. I am honored to serve. His voice is level. Controlled. No edge. No sarcasm. Pure sincerity that sounds almost foreign coming from him. The room becomes a different kind of silent. Not the silence of tension diffused. The silence of people recalibrating. Obi-Wan stares at his former Padawan. The expression on his face something he hasn't worn in years. Hope. Yoda's ancient eyes narrow slightly, reading the Force signature rolling off Anakin. It is not the signature of suppressed rage. It is something more complicated, more dangerous. Clarity. Mace Windu blinks once. Processes. Moves on. The Council has important matters to discuss. Intelligence from the Outer Rim. Chaoti Mundi's hologram flickers. General Kenobi. We have confirmed General Grievous's location. Utapau system. 10th level, Pau City. The meeting proceeds. Standard business. Strategic deployment. Obi-Wan receives the Utapau assignment. Mace confirms the 212th Attack Battalion will accompany him. But nothing in the room is standard anymore. Every master can feel it. The shift. Something in Anakin has changed. Yoda's eyes never leave the young Jedi. The Force swirls around Anakin like a storm that has suddenly impossibly gone still. The meeting concludes. Assignments given. The Council rises. Anakin stands, bows properly to each master, walks to the exit. His stride is measured, controlled, not the impatient march they're used to. He pauses at the threshold, looks back once at the empty chamber, then forward, down the corridor. His expression is unreadable. Inside, every synapse burning, the calculus already running. 3 things he knows with absolute certainty. 1. Palpatine is Darth Sidious. Not suspicion, not premonition. Fact carved into his memory by 23 years of servitude. 2. Order 66 will be transmitted within days. The timeline is terrifyingly short. No margin for error. 3. He cannot fight this war from inside his own wounds. The dark side is not defeated by strength. It is defeated by not needing what it offers. He has perhaps 72 hours to dismantle a plan 20 years in the making. First move. Convince the most perceptive Sith Lord alive that nothing has changed. Senate building. Palpatine's office. 2 hours later, Anakin walks through the corridors. Measured pace. Nodding to guards. Another routine visit. Inside his head. Preparation. He stopped in a maintenance alcove 20 minutes ago. Did something Vader never did and young Anakin rarely managed. Meditated. Not serene Jedi sitting in silence meditation. He cycled through Vader's memories like combat footage, studying Palpatine's patterns. The way the old man leans forward when sensing vulnerability, the micro-expression of satisfaction when Anakin expresses resentment, the exact verbal register Palpatine expects, clipped controlled anger just below the surface. Then constructed the mask. Not the armor, not blank slate. Anakin, who is almost Vader, raw enough to be plausible, controlled enough to read his growth. He reaches the office door, pauses, one breath, enters. Palpatine sits behind his desk. Holographic displays floating around him. Galactic tactical readouts. He looks up, warm smile spreading across grandfatherly features. Anakin, my boy. Come in. Sit. Anakin sits. The visitor's chair. Same chair he's occupied 100 times. Palpatine studies him. The council meeting. How did it go? Here. The first test. Anakin lets carefully curated emotions show, controlled frustration, wounded pride held in check. They granted me a seat, as you requested, but no rank. I'm on the council, but I'm not a master. Palpatine's expression shifts. Concern, outrageous, unfair. You are more powerful than any Jedi in that chamber, and it doesn't matter. Anakin says it flatly, not dismissive, just factual. Palpatine pauses, recalibrates. Doesn't matter. My boy, this is precisely what we've discussed. The Council's fear of your power. I don't need their approval. Chancellor, I know what I'm capable of. A title doesn't change that. The words are exactly right. Exactly what Palpatine has been cultivating for months. The grievances the Chancellor spent weeks planting. Palpatine relaxes, visibly pleased. Good, Anakin. This shows maturity, growth. The Council is political, yes? They play games. But you see through it. I see what matters. The war, ending it, protecting the people I love. Palpatine leans forward, warm, paternal, and that is why you will be great. Your attachments, the Jedi call them weaknesses. I call them strengths. Your love for Senator Amidala, for instance. Anakin's expression doesn't change, but Vader's mind catalogs, targeting Padmé. Confirmed. Is that not the most powerful motivation? To protect her, to ensure her safety. It is. There are forces at work, my boy. Forces even the Jedi do not understand. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. There it is, the Plagueis opener. Earlier than expected, Palpatine is accelerating the timeline. Anakin files this. Keeps his face neutral, curious but not desperate. What do you mean? Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Anakin knows this speech, every word, has heard it in nightmares for 23 years. He listens with the face of someone hearing it for the first time. Lets the right amount of interest show. Palpatine tells the story. The Sith Lord who could influence midichlorians to create life, to prevent death, who taught his apprentice everything, then was killed in his sleep. Is it possible to learn this power? Anakin asks the question. On cue. Perfect timing. Palpatine's smile is gentle, satisfied, not from a Jedi. The hook is set, or so Palpatine believes. They talk for another 20 minutes. War strategy, Senate politics. Palpatine probes gently for Anakin's emotional state. Underneath the performance, Anakin is running a second operation. Harvesting intelligence. Palpatine, believing he's deepening Anakin's investment in the Sith path, hints at a moment of decision approaching very soon. Confirms. Order 66 is 48 to 72 hours out. Maximum. Makes a passing reference to commands already in place. That sounds like political metaphor. To Anakin, who was Vader, it's specific language used for standing military orders. Asks about Padmé with warm paternal concern. How is Senator Amidala? You carry such weight, my boy. Anakin files this. Palpatine will move on her within 24 hours. Near the end of the conversation, Palpatine probes through the Force. Careful. Invisible. A technique Anakin knows intimately. Anakin lets him in. Has prepared a layer of genuine emotion for exactly this probe. Real anger about the rank denial. Real grief about Padmé's pregnancy fears. Real exhaustion from the war. All authentic. All curated. Palpatine finds what he's looking for. Is satisfied. Never reaches the deeper layer. Where Anakin is counting exits. Calculating transmission to Obi-Wan. The meeting ends. Anakin stands. Bows respectfully. Thank you, Chancellor, for everything. Of course, my boy. We will speak again soon. Very soon. Anakin leaves. Palpatine watches him go. The satisfaction of a man who believes he's watching a chain grow one link tighter. Unaware he's watching the chain cutter. Private hangar bay. Temple District. 4 hours later, Anakin intercepts Obi-Wan before departure. Not in a public corridor. In a maintenance bay adjacent to Obi-Wan's fighter. Deliberately chosen. No protocol droids. Anakin has quietly force-swept it for listening devices. Found 3. Disabled them. Obi-Wan approaches his Jedi interceptor, Sees Anakin waiting, reads the body language immediately. Tense, purposeful. Anakin. What's happened? We need to talk. Privately. Now. Obi-Wan glances at the hangar entrance. Back to Anakin. I leave for Utapau in 2 hours. I know. That's why this has to be now. Something in Anakin's voice stops Obi-Wan's questions. He's heard this tone before. Once. When Anakin confessed about the Tusken camp. Absolute seriousness. No performance. All right. Talk. Anakin doesn't ease into it. No preamble. No dramatic build-up. Palpatine is Darth Sidious. Silence. Obi-Wan's first instinct is to correct him. The Chancellor has been investigated. The Jedi have no evidence. But something in Anakin's voice, the flatness of his certainty, stops him. That's Anakin. That's an extraordinary accusation. What evidence? He's been grooming me since I was 9 years old. Since Naboo. Every conversation. Every piece of advice. Every moment of paternal concern. It's been manipulation. Calculated. Precise. He's a Sith Lord, and he's been hiding in plain sight for decades. Obi-Wan stares. Processing. How do you know this? Anakin takes a breath. This is the moment. I had a vision. In the council chamber, when they denied me the rank. It wasn't like normal Force visions. It was complete. Absolute. I lived an entire future. 45 years. In less than a second. Obi-Wan says nothing, just listens. In that future, I fall to the dark side. Palpatine turns me. I become Darth Vader. His enforcer. I help him destroy the Jedi Order. Execute the younglings in the temple. Hunt down every Jedi across the galaxy. I serve him for 23 years in a suit of black armor because Palpatine lets me burn on Mustafar and then puts me back together as a weapon. The words come out clinical. Precise. No emotion. Just facts. Obi-Wan's face has gone pale. Anakin. Order 66 is real. It's programmed into the clone troopers. Every single one. Inhibitor chips in their brains. On Palpatine's command, they'll execute their Jedi generals. All of them. Simultaneously. It happens in the next 72 hours. Obi-Wan sits heavily on a supply crate. The clones, Cody, Rex, they have biochips that will override their free will and turn them into killers. Yes, Fives tried to warn us. We didn't listen. Tup's malfunction was the chip degrading. We dismissed it. Obi-Wan looks at his hands, thinks of Cody, efficient, loyal Cody who's fought beside him for 3 years. Feels sick. How do you know this? How can you be certain? Because I've been there, Obi-Wan. I felt what I become. I wore what I become. I died as that thing and I woke up in the council chamber being denied a rank that doesn't matter, and I will die before I let it happen. His voice cracks, just slightly. First real emotion breaking through. Obi-Wan meets his eyes, sees something he hasn't seen in years. His Padawan, the real one, not the war-hardened general, not the ambitious Jedi, the boy he trained. Scared and honest and asking for help. What do you need me to do? Anakin's relief is visible. Go to Utapau. Kill Grievous. When Order 66 doesn't come, because I'm going to make sure it doesn't. Stay alive. Get back to Coruscant. I need you here for what comes next. What comes next? Palpatine's arrest. Public exposure. The end of the Sith. Obi-Wan processes. You have a plan. I have 72 hours. I'm going to jam the transmission infrastructure for Order 66. Save who I can. Secure Padmé. Then, he pauses. Then I'm going to kill Palpatine or force the Council to arrest him. Whichever comes first. Anakin, if you're wrong. I'm not. I know I'm not. I've served him for 23 years in another life. I know every tell, every manipulation, every lie. I know what he is. Obi-Wan is quiet for a long moment. Then, I believe you. Anakin blinks. What? I believe you. Not because I understand this vision. I don't. But because Obi-Wan stands. Because you've never asked for my help like this. You've never been this clear. This certain. Something happened in that council chamber. I felt it in the Force. And if you're telling me Palpatine is Sidious, then I trust you. Tension he didn't know he was carrying. Thank you. What about the council? Shouldn't we tell? After. Once it's done. Once Palpatine is exposed and the evidence is undeniable. If we go to them now with a vision and accusations, they'll dismiss it. Investigate. Palpatine will know we're on to him. He'll accelerate. People die. Then we do this your way. They stand together. Master and former Padawan. Brothers. Anakin speaks quietly. I blamed you. In that other life. For years. Everything that went wrong. I made it your fault. The Council's fault. Everyone's fault but mine. I was wrong. Obi-Wan's expression softens. You were never wrong about my caring for you, Anakin. That part you always got right. They embrace. Brief. Firm. When they separate, Obi-Wan asks, when this is over. When Palpatine is stopped, what will you do? Anakin looks at his hands. Whole hands, not the cybernetic replacements. Be a father. Be a husband. Stop being a weapon. Obi-Wan boards his fighter. Sends one encrypted message to Mace Windu before jumping to hyperspace. When you can, without Palpatine's knowledge, verify the Chancellor's background against Sith historical records. Do it now. Trust Anakin. The interceptor lifts. Gone, Anakin stands in the empty hangar. First move. Complete. Obi-Wan is warned. Will survive. Second move. Secure Padmé. He turns. Walks toward the Senate Apartment District. The Nabari Apartment. Senate District. 2 hours later. Anakin arrives not in Jedi robes but civilian cloak. Security measure. Also symbolic. Not here as general. As husband. Padmé opens the door. Sees his face. Knows immediately. Anakin. Tell me. He steps inside. The door closes. They stand in the living area. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Coruscant's endless cityscape beyond. Palpatine is the Sith Lord we've been looking for. Padmé goes very still. What? Anakin tells her, not everything, withholds the darkest memories. The suit, the specific horrors, but enough. Palpatine, the Sith, the plan. Order 66. The danger she's in specifically because he is in it. He tells her about the pregnancy as leverage, that Palpatine will use her life, or the threat to it, to break him. Padmé's first instinct is to argue. She's a senator. She has resources. She can fight politically. Anakin gently, firmly shakes his head. This isn't a political fight, Padmé. This is a Sith Lord who's been playing the political game for 40 years. The only thing that removes you from his reach is distance. You want me to hide. I want you safe. There's a difference. They argue. Respectfully. Two people who are equals. Padmé's point that hiding removes her agency, that she's fought her whole life and won't hide now, is valid. Anakin doesn't dismiss it. He asks one question. If Palpatine cannot threaten you, what can he hold over me? The answer hangs in the air. Nothing. If she is safe, Anakin fights without chains. Padmé absorbs this. Then, where would I go? A secure compound on Alderaan. He'll personally escort you off-world. You've already contacted him. An hour ago. He's waiting. She looks at him. This man she married, who's always been so afraid of losing her that he couldn't breathe. Now he's asking her to leave, choosing her safety over his need to keep her close. Something changed. In the council chamber. I can feel it. I saw what happens when I'm afraid of losing you. I saw what that fear makes me. I won't, his voice catches. I won't become that. Padmé steps forward, takes his face in her hands. What did you see? I dreamed about losing you. I've been so afraid of losing you that I couldn't see I was already losing myself. Whatever happens in the next day, you are the thing I am fighting to be worthy of. Not to keep, to be worthy of. She holds his hand. Come back to me. Not come back. To me. The distinction matters to both of them. 30 minutes later. Private landing pad. Bail Organa's ship. Sleek diplomatic vessel. Ramp lowering. Bail himself at the bottom. Sees Anakin and Padmé approaching. No questions. Just, Senator. The ship is ready. Padmé boards. Stops at the ramp. Looks back. Anakin stands watching. Not clinging. Not desperate. Just watching her go, allowing it. "I love you," she says. "I know. And that's why you have to leave." The ramp rises. The ship lifts. Anakin watches until it's a speck. Then gone. Stands alone on the landing pad. Does not allow himself to feel the loss. Converts it, deliberately into clarity of purpose. Turns. Walks toward Republic Military Command Center. 36 hours remaining. Maybe less. Republic Military Command Center. Coruscant. 23 hours after Council denial. Anakin walks through security checkpoints. Nods to guards. General Skywalker. Level 7 clearance. Routine access. Nothing about this is routine. Inside. The nerve center of the Grand Army of the Republic. Holographic tactical displays. Real-time fleet positioning. Communication arrays linking every battalion, every cruiser, every forward operating base across the galaxy. And buried in that architecture, the kill switch. Anakin passes officers reviewing battle reports. Strategic planning rooms. He's been here dozens of times. Always legitimate. Always authorized. Tonight, different purpose. He reaches a maintenance corridor. Auxiliary systems access. Less traffic, the kind of space technicians use for equipment diagnostics. He slips inside. Closes the door. Alone. The terminal is standard military issue. Secured. But Anakin has level 7 general clearance, the highest non-council rank in the Republic military system. Legitimate access to 501st and 212th communication infrastructure. He sits, activates the terminal, logs in. The system accepts his credentials. The access problem, Order 66, is not housed in standard military comm networks. It runs through a secondary Sith-encrypted channel, embedded directly in the clone troopers' inhibitor chips. Not a broadcast you can jam with standard comm scramblers. What Anakin can access: the relay infrastructure. Transmission amplifiers that boost chip-to-clone signal across interstellar distances. If those relays are disrupted, the signal degrades to non-activation threshold. Vader's memories provide specific technical knowledge. Relay stations maintained by civilian contractor under military shell company. Override codes run through the same Republic network Anakin has clearance to access. He doesn't need to destroy the network. He needs to insert a signal ghost, a looping false active signal that makes relay stations appear operational to Palpatine's monitoring while actually degrading transmission below threshold power. This is not Anakin's specialty. He's a pilot, a duelist, not a slicer. He makes 2 errors in the first 15 minutes, has to backtrack, recalibrate, burning time. But Vader's tactical mind combined with Anakin's near-supernatural connection to machines, established since age 9, building a pod racer from scrap, eventually finds the pattern. The relay stations respond to maintenance protocols. Standard diagnostic codes. He doesn't need to hack. He needs to convince the system he's performing routine maintenance. He accesses the relay network, identifies the critical nodes. The targeting decision: he cannot jam every relay. The network is galaxy-wide. He has to choose which legions to protect. Priority list: 501st Legion, CT, 7567 Rex. Coruscant. Rex is the one clone Anakin trusts absolutely. Also cannot have Palpatine's palace guard turning on him mid-operation. Critical. 212th Attack Battalion, CC, 2224 Cody, Utapau. For Obi-Wan. Non-negotiable. Coruscant Guard, C, 477 Thyre. Prevents Senate-level massacre. Thousands of civilians in the immediate blast radius if the guard activates. 41st Elite Corps, CC 1004 Gree, Kashyyyk. For Yoda. The Grand Master must survive. He works the console. Inserting degradation algorithms. False maintenance flags. Signal ghosts that will loop when Palpatine transmits the command. The outer system relays. Felucia, Salukami, Maigito, the Outer Rim campaigns. He cannot reach in time. His fingers slow on the keyboard. C, 5052 Bly, 327th Star Corps, serving with Ayla Secura on Felucia. He knows what happens, remembers the report, the visual, Ayla walking through jungle. Bly and his men behind her, the signal, the rifles rising. She doesn't even turn around. Cannot save her. Not enough time. Not enough reach. Anakin sits in the dark of the command room for exactly 30 seconds, feeling the weight of the names he cannot save. Then stands, one more move. Before leaving, he encrypts and transmits one final file to 3 secure locations: Obi-Wan's fighter computer, Bail Organa's private terminal on Alderaan, a dead drop archive on Coruscant. The file contains everything: Palpatine's identity, Order 66 architecture, inhibitor chip documentation, grooming timeline, financial records tracing Senate manipulation. If Anakin dies in the next 24 hours, the information survives. He closes the terminal, wipes his access logs, standard security protocol, walks out of the command center as casually as a man leaving a staff briefing. No alarms. No flags. The clock in his head. Less than 24 hours. Utapau. Pau City. 10th level of the sinkhole. 14 hours later, Obi-Wan Kenobi crouches behind debris. Blaster fire screaming overhead. Battle droids advancing. The 212th holding the perimeter. Ahead, General Grievous, 4-armed cyborg, spinning lightsabers. The droid's supreme commander. This is what Obi-Wan came for. He moves, engages. The duel is textbook Soresu. Obi-Wan's defensive mastery against Grievous's overwhelming offense. 4 lightsabers against 1. The cyborg pressing. Obi-Wan yielding ground. Waiting. Grievous overextends. Moment of imbalance. Obi-Wan strikes. 1 arm severed. 2. The cyborg stumbles. Drops 3 lightsabers. Clutching the 4th. Retreating. Running. Obi-Wan pursues. Through the sinkhole levels. Grievous reaches his personal wheel bike. Massive vehicle. Starts to mount. Obi-Wan doesn't have his lightsaber in hand. Dropped it in the chaos. Commander Cody tosses him a blaster. Here, sir. Obi-Wan catches it. Aims. Fires. Precise. Into Grievous's exposed chest cavity. The cyborg's organic heart, the only organic part left, ruptures. Grievous collapses, dead before he hits the ground. Obi-Wan stands over the body, breathing hard. Looks at the blaster with distaste. So uncivilized. Drops it. Retrieves his lightsaber. Cody approaches. Professional. Efficient. General. Excellent work. I'll have my men. He pauses, hand moving to his helmet comm. Receiving transmission. Obi-Wan watches. Waiting. This is the moment Anakin warned him about. Cody frowns. Taps his helmet. Sir, I'm receiving interference. Command transmission from Coruscant. It's distorted. Can't make it out. Obi-Wan goes very still. What's the transmission? Can't tell, sir. Signal degradation. It's hold on. Cody adjusts his comm. Tries to clear the static. It's not coming through. Just noise. Obi-Wan makes a decision in less than 1 second. Cody, stand down your men. We are returning to Coruscant. Immediately. Cody looks at him. Surprised but obedient. Sir, the battle is over. Grievous is dead. The Separatist command structure is broken. We're needed elsewhere. Cody nods. Yes, sir. Turns to his troops. Begins issuing withdrawal orders. Obi-Wan stands alone for a moment. Reaches through the Force. Feels wrongness. Across the galaxy. Distant but distinct. Jedi dying. Not in battle. Suddenly. Treacherously. Anakin was right. It's happening. Coruscant. Palpatine's office. Senate building. Same moment. The Chancellor sits at his desk. Holographic galaxy arrayed before him. Strategic deployment map glowing. He activates the command. Encrypted. Direct to clone commanders across the galaxy. His voice calm. Measured. Final. Execute Order 66. The transmission broadcasts. Light speed. Reaching every relay station simultaneously. Palpatine watches the deployment map, waiting for green indicators to flip red. Jedi signatures winking out. Some do. Outer Rim. Distant systems. Beyond Anakin's reach. Maigito. Bakara receives the signal. Kiadi Mundi falls. Salukami. Neo receives the signal. Stas Ali dies. Felucia. Bly receives the signal. Ayla Secura walks through jungle. Doesn't hear the rifles rise behind her. Dies not understanding why. Red indicators bloom across the outer rim, but the critical nodes, Utapau, green. Obi-Wan Kenobi alive. Coruscant, green. The 501st unresponsive. Coruscant guard standing down. Kashyyyk, green. Yoda's signature steady. Palpatine goes very still. He sends the command again. Execute Order 66. Partial response. Scattered confirmations from systems where the relay infrastructure remained intact. But Coruscant, Utapau, Kashyyyk, the strategically decisive locations, silent. Palpatine's hands tighten on his desk. This is not equipment failure. Not random. The pattern is too specific. Too targeted. Someone sabotaged the relay infrastructure. Someone who knew exactly which legions mattered. His first instinct, correct, find Anakin. He activates his personal comm. Anakin, report to my office immediately. No response. Tries again. Anakin Skywalker. Respond. Nothing. Palpatine stands, walks to the window. Coruscant, spreading below. For the first time in many years, Darth Sidious does not know what is happening. The intelligence operation he has run for 2 decades has produced an unexpected output. His weapon is not responding. His plan is failing in real time. And the boy he has groomed since age 9, the boy he has meticulously shaped into a vessel for rage and fear and desperate love, is nowhere to be found. Palpatine thinks there is something wrong with the boy. Jedi Temple. Meditation chamber. Same moment, Yoda sits alone, eyes closed, deep in the Force. He feels it. The disturbance. Jedi dying across the galaxy. But not here. Not Coruscant. Not Obi-Wan. Not the critical masters. The future, which has felt like a wall of shadow for months, cracks open. Light pours through a gap that was not there this morning. Yoda opens his eyes, ancient, clear, reaches for his comm. Master Windu, to my chambers come. Urgent this is. Mace Windu's voice. Tense. I'm already on my way. Something's happening. Jedi in the field are dying, they are. Some, but not all. Purposeful, this pattern is. Discuss we must. Yoda stands, walks to the window. Below, the city planet continues. Unaware, but the Force knows. The Force sees. Something has changed. Something fundamental. The prophesied balance, decades away in every vision Yoda has ever had, is suddenly impossibly close. He does not understand it. But he feels it. Senate Apartment District. Anakin's personal quarters. 18 hours after jamming Order 66. Anakin sits on the floor, meditating. Not serene Jedi meditation. Combat meditation. Vader's technique. Cycling through possible futures. Tactical scenarios. Palpatine's next moves. The Order 66 failure was too clean. Too targeted. He will investigate. Will try to identify the saboteur. Will eventually, inevitably, trace it to Anakin. The question, how fast? Anakin estimates 24 hours, maybe less. Palpatine is brilliant, paranoid, thorough, which means the endgame accelerates. He cannot wait for Obi-Wan to return from Utapau, cannot wait for Mace Windu's Sith historical investigation to conclude. He has to move now, force Palpatine into a confrontation. Public, undeniable, or kill him quietly. Anakin considers both options. Quiet assassination, cleaner, eliminates the threat permanently, but leaves the Sith's network intact. Palpatine's agents, his political infrastructure, the corruption he's woven through every level of government. Public exposure, messier, riskier, but dismantles the entire system, reveals the Sith to the galaxy, forces institutional accountability, Vader's instinct, kill quietly, eliminate the head, let the body collapse. But Anakin, who is not just Vader, remembers Luke, remembers the throne room. I am a Jedi, like my father before me, remembers the choice that mattered, not killing the Emperor, refusing to become him. Public exposure, evidence, justice, not revenge. Harder, better. He stands, checks his lightsaber. Blue blade, functional. Palpatine is in his office, has been there for hours, trying to understand the failure. Anakin's comm chimes. Encrypted channel. Obi-Wan. Anakin. I'm inbound. ETA 6 hours. Grievous is dead. Cody's chip didn't activate. You were right about everything. Relief floods through him. Any casualties? In the field, Outer Rim, Kiadi Mundi, Ayla Secura, others. But Coruscant is intact. Yoda is safe. The Council survived. Ayla, he knew, couldn't save her. I did what I could. You saved thousands, Anakin. Don't lose sight of that. 6 hours. I need you here for the arrest. Arrest? Palpatine. We're doing this publicly. With evidence. With witnesses. No assassinations. No shortcuts. Obi-Wan is quiet for a moment. Then, agreed. I'm coming as fast as I can. The comm cuts. Anakin looks at his hands. Whole. Unblemished. In another life, these hands choked Padmé. Burned younglings. Served as Sith Lord for 23 years. Here, now they're going to end him. Not through murder. Through justice. He walks to the door. Stops. Reaches through the Force. Feels Palpatine's presence. Vast. Dark. Coiled. Waiting. Anakin has one advantage. One thing Palpatine cannot account for. He knows exactly how this fight goes. Has fought the Emperor in 100 training exercises across 2 decades. Knows every move, every technique, every weakness. Palpatine thinks he's manipulating a damaged, isolated Jedi Knight. He's facing Darth Vader with Anakin Skywalker's clarity. No rage, no fear, no chains, just purpose. Anakin leaves his quarters. Walks toward the Senate building. The city planet hums around him. Billions of lives. Unaware that their entire future is pivoting on the next 6 hours, he feels them through the Force. The weight. The responsibility. Not crushing. Clarifying. He knows what he's fighting for now. Not power. Not recognition. Not even survival. The chance for every person in the city to live in a galaxy where Sith Lords don't orchestrate genocides from Senate offices. The chance for his children, not yet born but already real in his memory, to grow up free. The chance to be the man he should have been, not the monster he became. He reaches the Senate building. Security waves him through. General Skywalker. Routine visit. Inside, the building is quiet. Late evening. Most senators gone. Skeleton staff. Perfect. He takes the turbo lift to the Chancellor's floor. Walks the corridor. Carpeted. Elegant. The heart of Republican democracy. Built on a lie. He reaches the office door. Pauses. Through the Force. Palpatine inside. Alone. No guards. The old man dismissed them. Knows Anakin is coming. Has been waiting. Anakin pushes the door open. Steps inside. Palpatine sits behind his desk. Grandfatherly face. Warm smile. But the eyes are different now. No more mask. Just calculation. Anakin. I've been trying to reach you. I know. Anakin closes the door behind him. The lock engages automatically. Soundproofing activates. Standard security protocol for sensitive meetings. No one will hear what happens next. Palpatine leans back in his chair, studying Anakin. Order 66 failed. Partially. The relay infrastructure was sabotaged. Very precisely. Only someone with deep knowledge of the clone command structure could have done it. Yes. Only someone with high-level military clearance could have accessed those systems. Yes. Palpatine's smile doesn't waver, but his voice drops. You. Anakin sits in the visitor's chair, the same chair he's occupied 100 times, looks at Palpatine with eyes that have seen 45 years the old man cannot imagine. Me. Palpatine absorbs this, recalibrates. Why? Because I know what you are. I know what you're planning, and I will not let it happen. What I am. Palpatine's voice is gentle, concerned. My boy, I don't. Anakin's voice is flat. Don't perform. I know, Sidious. I've known since the council chamber. I've served you for 23 years in another life. I know every lie, every manipulation, every piece of the plan. Palpatine goes very still. The warmth drains from his face like water from a broken vessel. What remains? The Predator. You had a vision. I lived it. There's a difference. Palpatine stands slowly, walks to the window, hands clasped behind his back. What did you see? Everything. Mustafar. The suit. The Empire. Order 66. Succeeding. The Jedi Temple burning. Padmé dying. Luke and Leia hidden. Tarkin. The Death Star. Alderaan. Everything you built. Everything I helped you build. And you came back, to this moment, to stop it. Yes, why not kill me? You could have, any number of opportunities. Quiet assassination. No one would know. Because that's what Vader would do. I'm not him anymore. Palpatine turns. Studies Anakin. You are stronger than I gave you credit for. I have spent 13 years shaping you, building the perfect weapon. And you, he pauses, you broke the conditioning in a single moment. Fascinating. The rank denial. Yes, that was your mistake. Pushing too hard, making the humiliation too public. It cracked something open. And now you intend to, what? Arrest me? Expose me? Palpatine's voice carries amusement. On what evidence? A vision? Jedi mysticism? The Senate will laugh you out of the chamber. I have evidence. Financial records. Decoded Sith communications. Your meetings with Dooku, the inhibitor chip architecture. Maul's equipment from Naboo. All of it compiled. All of it verifiable. Transmitted to 3 secure locations. If I die, it releases automatically. Palpatine's expression shifts. Not fear. Anger. You have been busy. I had 23 years to think about how to beat you. This time I came prepared. The lightsaber is in Palpatine's hand before Anakin finishes the sentence. Red blade. Sith crystal. The weapon of Darth Sidious. No more masks. Palpatine's office. Senate building. The red blade ignites. Sith crystal. The weapon of Darth Sidious. Anakin stands, his own lightsaber in hand. Blue blade activating. The office is large. Ornate. Desk. Chairs. Holographic displays. Art pieces. Were than the prefix. Art pieces were than the safe. 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 Palpatine moves them with a gesture. Force push. Precise. The furniture slides to the walls, clearing the dueling floor like a master chess player clearing the board when endgame arrives. You think you can defeat me, boy? I have studied the dark side for 70 years. I am Sith. You are, he pauses. What are you exactly? Not Jedi. Not anymore. Not fully. I'm what you made me, and what I unmade myself. Cryptic. I had hoped for clarity before I kill you. Palpatine moves. Form 7. Juyo. The most aggressive lightsaber style. Designed to overwhelm through relentless offense. He strikes high. Low. Spinning. The red blade a blur. Anakin blocks. Form V. Gem So. Power defense each parry perfectly placed. He's not fighting the way young Anakin would fight. Aggressive. Emotional. Trying to match Palpatine's intensity. He's fighting the way Vader fought. Economical. Precise. Zero wasted motion. Palpatine presses. Drives Anakin back 3 steps. Testing. Finds nothing. Perfect defense. No openings. Palpatine switches tactics. Steps back. Extends his free hand. Force lightning. Blue-white energy crackling from his fingertips. The signature Sith technique. Designed to incapacitate. Torture, kill. Anakin raises his blade. Catches the lightning. The energy streams into the blade, dispersing along the length. A technique requiring precise force calibration. Young Anakin never mastered it. Vader did. The lightning reflects. Redirects. Palpatine pulls back. Not fast enough. The edge of the reflected bolt clips his shoulder. Burns through his robes. The Chancellor hisses. Steps back. Recalibrating. Interesting. You've learned techniques I never taught you. I had a good teacher. You. For 23 years. I watched you fight. Studied every move. You're very thorough in your training, Master. The word is mockery. Deliberate. Palpatine's eyes narrow. You wish to anger me. Make me emotional. Sloppy. It won't work. I am beyond such manipulation. I know. I'm not trying to anger you. I'm telling you the truth. I know every technique you'll use, because you've already used them. On me. On Luke. On everyone you ever fought. Palpatine moves again. Faster now. No testing. Full Sith assault. The red blade becomes a whirlwind, strikes from impossible angles, enhanced by the dark side. By decades of mastery, Anakin meets every strike. Blocks. Redirects. His defense is absolute, because he's seen this before. Hundreds of training sessions, Vader sparring with the Emperor, learning the patterns, now using them. Palpatine realizes this, adjusts, begins talking while fighting. His other weapon, psychological warfare. Your wife, Senator Amidala. She's pregnant, isn't she? I can feel it. Twins. How extraordinary, you must be terrified for them. Anakin's expression doesn't change. Blocks high, low. She will die, you know. In childbirth. I have seen it. The dark side shows me all possible futures. She dies screaming your name. Block. Parry. Riposte. Unless you join me, unless you embrace the power I offer. The power to save her. To save them. All three of them. Anakin feels it. The pull. The fear. The desperate love. In the original timeline, this broke him. This exact moment. The offer of power in exchange for everything he loves. Here, now. He uses it differently. Moves with the fear instead of against it. Lets it flow through him. Converts it into clarity. The love is real. The fear is real. But they don't own him anymore. They are safe, Anakin says. Calm. Factual. And they are the reason I don't need your darkness. I have something to live for. Palpatine's rhythm breaks. Just slightly. A microsecond hesitation. Anakin presses. First offensive move. 3 strikes. Precise. Controlled. Palpatine blocks. But he's been pushed back. Your children, Palpatine says. Voice tighter now. Luke. Leia. I know their names. You think about them constantly. I can feel it. When I kill you, I will find them. Train one. Kill the other. Make them watch. The words are designed to detonate. To trigger rage. To open Anakin to the dark side. Instead, you won't find them. You won't leave this room. Anakin's voice is ice. Not because he's angry. Because he's certain. Palpatine changes tactics again. Drops the psychological approach. Goes for overwhelming force. Full unleashed. Sith Lord. No restraint. No subtlety. The office becomes a battlefield. Force push. Telekinetic strikes. Lightning from multiple angles. The red blade moving faster than human reflexes should allow. This is the most physically dangerous phase. Anakin is pressed back. Hard. Takes a hit. Lightning grazes his shoulder. Burns through his robes. Pain sharp and immediate. He doesn't fall. Doesn't reach for anger to fuel himself. Just continues. With the exhausted, absolute clarity of a man who has already died once in his imagination, and found he still has things worth doing. Palpatine overextends. Force push combination. 2-strike sequence, designed to slam the opponent into the wall, then crush them with follow-up. Anakin reads it. Vader saw this exact sequence in a training exercise. Year 14 of his service. Knows the timing. The weakness. Doesn't counter. Redirects. Uses Palpatine's own momentum against him. Steps aside. The force push hits empty air. Palpatine stumbles forward. Balance disrupted. For exactly 0.8 seconds. Enough. Anakin strikes. Not with his blade. With the force. Telekinetic grip. Precise. Powerful. Grabs Palpatine's lightsaber hand. Wrenches it aside. The red blade arcs away. Skids across the marble floor. Palpatine reaches for it with the force. Anakin is faster. Pulls the weapon to his own hand. Deactivates it. Now holding both lightsabers, Palpatine stands unarmed. Robes smoking. Face no longer masked. Just old. Old and cornered and stripped of everything. Anakin points his blue blade at Palpatine's throat. The Chancellor doesn't move. For a long moment, silence. Then Palpatine speaks. Not pleading, almost, Genuine. You could have been great. Anakin looks at him. This man who shaped 45 years of his life, who groomed him, manipulated him, turned him into a weapon, who, in another timeline, made him into the thing he feared most. I was. You just couldn't see it. He doesn't strike, doesn't execute, just waits. 3 presences in the Force, converging on this room. 30 seconds later, the door opens. Mace Windu, Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi. They stop. Take in the scene. The destroyed office. Anakin standing over Palpatine. Blade at the Chancellor's throat. Injured but controlled. Mace processes this in less than 1 second. He expected to find a fight. Expected to find Anakin morally compromised, needing to be talked down from execution. Instead, he finds something he didn't expect. Anakin looks at Mace, his former general, the master who denied him the rank. No anger in his eyes, no resentment. Just exhaustion and a bone-deep gravity, the weight of a man who has been carrying a galaxy on his shoulders for 72 hours. Mace nods once, turns to deal with Palpatine. The Chancellor tries one final gambit, not at Anakin, at Mace. Master Windu, you arrive in time to witness the Jedi's true nature. Assassination, murder, this is what your order has become. Cold. We are arresting you, Sheev Palpatine, for treason against the Galactic Republic, for the murders of thousands in service of the Sith Order, for conspiracy to destroy the Jedi, and for sedition. You will stand trial. Simple legality. Rule of law. Applied cleanly. Palpatine has no counter for it. He tries to attack. One last Force lightning strike. Desperate. Yoda raises his hand. Absorbs it. The energy dissipates. The ancient Jedi Master steps forward. Looks at Palpatine with eyes that have seen 900 years. Ended. Your reign has. Face justice. You will. Suppression field engaging. The Sith Lord's connection to the Force dampens. Not gone. Contained. Obi-Wan moves to the office terminal. Activates the holographic display. The evidence file Anakin compiled. Everything. Financial records. Decoded Sith communications. Meetings with Dooku. Inhibitor chip architecture. The grooming timeline. Maul's equipment from Naboo. All of it. Obi-Wan inputs commands. Fast. Precise. Broadcasting to every Senate channel simultaneously. Every HoloNews network. Every public terminal on Coruscant. The evidence floods the holonet. Within minutes, every being on the planet with access to a screen is seeing it. Chancellor Palpatine's secret identity. His decades-long manipulation. The Sith Lord hiding in plain sight. The Senate building erupts. Emergency session called. Senators flooding the chambers. Chaos. Outrage. Denial. Panic. Massa Meta attempts procedural delay. Tries to suppress the broadcast. The Coruscant Guard arrests him. Their chips jammed. Following legitimate orders from their Jedi officers. Not all senators believe it immediately. Many don't. But the evidence is undeniable. Verifiable. Traced through sources that cannot be dismissed. The Republic doesn't fall. It staggers, shaken to its foundations. But holds. Palpatine is escorted from the building. In binders. Surrounded by Jedi. The citizens of Coruscant watch. Billions of beings. Seeing their Chancellor. The man they trusted. Revealed as the architect of their suffering. Some cheer. Some stand in shocked silence. Some weep. The galaxy recalibrates. 7 days later. Jedi Temple. Council chamber. Anakin stands in the center. Same room. Same circle of seats. Different context. The council has called him. Formal summons. Mace Windu speaks for them. Anakin Skywalker. The council acknowledges what you have done. You stopped the Sith. Saved the Order. Saved the Republic. You accomplished what we could not. Pause. We also acknowledge what was done to you. The years of manipulation. The psychological targeting that we, to our shame, failed to notice or protect you from. The burden you carried alone. Anakin listens, says nothing. The council has deliberated. We wish to offer you not just the rank of Master, but Grand Master, joint leadership of the Order alongside Master Yoda. It is the most prestigious recognition in Jedi history, and it is deserved. Anakin stands very still, every master watching him, waiting for his response. He smiles, not the cocky grin of young Skywalker, not the grim control of the last week. Genuine, quiet, tired. I appreciate that. I genuinely do. Pause. No. Silence. Mace blinks. No, I'm honored. Truly. But I can't accept. Why not? Anakin takes a breath, chooses his words. The Jedi Order didn't break me. I want to be clear about that. It was never the Order's fault. But it's also not where I'm going. To be a father, to be a husband, to raise 2 children who will grow up knowing what the light side actually feels like to live in. He looks at each master in turn. I've seen what happens when I define myself entirely by my institutional role. As Jedi, as general, as weapon. What I haven't been allowed to be in any timeline I remember is simply a person. You believe you cannot be both. I believe the galaxy doesn't need Anakin Skywalker, the Grand Master. It needs Anakin Skywalker to step back, to heal, to prove that walking away isn't failure, it's choosing life. Yoda, who has been silent, speaks. Decided you have. Clear your path is. Wisdom this is. Not failure. He stands, walks to Anakin. Go in peace you must. The Force is with you, always. Anakin bows. Deep, genuine. Thank you, Master Yoda. For believing me, for trusting me, he pauses, for letting me go. The council rises, each master bowing in turn. Recognition, respect. Farewell. Anakin leaves the chamber, walks the temple corridors one last time. At the outer steps, Obi-Wan waits, as if he knew this would happen, positioned himself for exactly this farewell. They stand together, teacher and student, brothers. You could stay, Obi-Wan says. So could you. Someone has to make sure the council doesn't calcify again. Someone has to make sure the outer rim stays free. Anakin pauses. I'm not leaving forever. Just stepping back. For a while, maybe a long while. Will you come back? When the twins are older? When Padmé is safe? When I've proven to myself that I can be Anakin Skywalker, without being anyone's weapon? Obi-Wan nods, understanding. They embrace. The hug that never happened in the original timeline. The goodbye between brothers that Mustafar stole. Neither lets go quickly. When they separate, Obi-Wan's eyes are bright. The Force will be with you. Always. And with you. Anakin walks down the temple steps. Into Coruscant's endless city. Private landing pad. Senate district. Padmé's ship has arrived. Sleek diplomatic vessel. Bail Organa at the foot of the ramp. He sees Anakin. Clasps his hand. Warmly. General Skywalker. The galaxy owes you a debt. The galaxy owes me nothing, just freedom from Sith Lords. That's enough. Bail smiles. Then you've given it what it needed most. He boards his own ship. Diplomatic business. Alderaan reconstruction. Padmé stands at the ramp, sees Anakin approaching. She looks him over. The burn on his shoulder, healing but visible. The exhaustion in his eyes. The way he carries himself. Not braced for impact, just standing. Is it over? She asks. This part. She takes his hand. They walk up the ramp together. The ship's interior. Comfortable. Safe. Private. Padmé sits. Anakin sits beside her. For the first time in a week, he allows himself to stop. Just stop. Where are we going? She asks. Naboo. The lake country. Somewhere quiet. Where no one knows us. Where the twins can be born without senators and Jedi and Sith and... He pauses. Without any of it. How long? As long as it takes. She leans against him. He holds her. The ship lifts from the landing pad. Coruscant shrinking below. The endless city planet. 10 trillion lives. Unaware that their entire future just pivoted, they reach orbit. The stars appear. Hyperspace activates. The galaxy blurs. Gone. In the Force. A presence watches. Not quite anything with a name, but something warm. Approving. Ancient and kind. The presence that has been guiding this boy since Tatooine. Since the slaver's hovel. Since the pod race that should have killed him. It watches Anakin Skywalker choose life over power. Choose family over recognition. Choose to walk away when walking away is the hardest thing he's ever done. And the presence, whatever it is, whoever it was, sighs. Deep satisfaction, the kind that only comes from watching someone you believed in finally, impossibly, become who they were always meant to be, the chosen one. Not because he destroyed the Sith through fire, because he was the one person Palpatine could not corrupt, could not use, could not break. Balance was never about a battle. It was about a choice. Standing in the council chamber, being denied a rank, feeling the humiliation detonate, and choosing to take a breath instead of an offense. Everything else followed from that. The Force settles, the storm of shadow and fractured light that has churned for decades. Clarity. Not perfect. Not without cost. Not without the Jedi who died in the Outer Rim before Anakin could reach them. But clarity. Nonetheless, the dark side has not been destroyed. It never can be. It's part of the Force, part of existence. But the Sith are ended. The plan is broken. The Republic survives. And the boy who could have been the galaxy's greatest weapon chose instead to be its quietest father. Naboo, Lake Country. 3 months later, a small house, private, protected by Naboo royal security but not obtrusively. Gardens, water, mountains in the distance. Anakin stands on the terrace. Early morning. The sun's rising. His hands rest on the railing. Whole hands, unblemished. The hands that in another life choked Padmé. Burned younglings. Served a monster. Here, they built a crib last week. Behind him, the house is quiet. Padmé sleeping. The pregnancy in its final month. Soon, very soon. Luke. Leia. Names he's known for 45 years. Children he's already held in mechanical hands. This time, different. This time they'll know their father, their mother. They'll grow up free, no empire, no Death Star. No Alderaan burning, just life, ordinary, precious, free. Anakin looks at his hands again, thinks about the Council's offer. Grand Master, joint leadership, the most prestigious position in Jedi history. He made the right choice, not because the Jedi are wrong. They're not, but because being Anakin Skywalker, just Anakin, nothing more, nothing less, is enough. The suns crest the horizon. Light spreading across the lake. A new day. In the Force, something hums. Balanced. Clear. The prophecy fulfilled. Not through destruction, through choice. Anakin turns, walks back inside. To Padmé. To the life he almost never had. The door closes behind him. Cut to black. The Force will be with him. Always. Let us know what you'd like to see next. The end.